What happens when one of Hollywood's most beloved action stars sits down for what should be a routine morning show interview? And it spirals into one of the most tense moments in live television history. The encounter between Jackie Chan and Michael Strahan on Good Morning America became so charged that cameras caught the exact moment a global icon had. And Newfound walked off set, leaving millions of viewers stunned in silence. Before we dive into exactly what was said that triggered this shocking exit, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment, sharing your theories, because this story is absolutely wild. The Good Morning America studio buzzed with its usual energy as Michael Strahan prepared for his next segment. Jackie Chan was scheduled to appear ostensibly to promote his latest project, and the expectation was alight. Entertaining chat stories of stunts, martial arts, and behind-the-scenes tales from decades in film. The audience was excited. Cameras were rolling. Everything seemed perfectly set for another smooth celebrity interview. Strahan opened with his signature smile, warm and inviting. "Jackie, it's an honor to have you here on Good Morning America. Your career spans over 5 decades. You've been making movies since childhood, and you're still doing your own stunts. That's incredible." Jackie Chan nodded politely, a faint smile on his lips. "Thank you, Michael. Yes, I've been very fortunate. I started young at the Peking Opera School, and I've been breaking bones ever since," he said. Letting out a small laugh to lighten the mood, Strahan leaned in, expression shifting. "I want to talk about that because a lot of people don't realize the toll it takes on your body. Over 100 bones broken, that seems almost reckless. Do you ever regret it?" The question hit hard. Jackie's smile faltered slightly. "Regret? No, I do not regret it. This is my art. Every stunt I perform is precise, calculated. Every fall planned. Injuries happen, yes, but they are part of the commitment to giving the audience something real." Strahan's tone sharpened. "But some stunt coordinators and safety experts say your approach sets a dangerous example. Young actors see this and feel they must risk their lives to succeed. How do you respond to that?" Jackie straightened, hands clasped in his lap. "I've trained my entire life. I do not tell anyone to copy me. I tell young performers to train, to learn their craft, to work with professionals. When I started, safety regulations were minimal. I learned by doing, by failing, by getting hurt, but I also had masters who taught me discipline and technique. I don't think I set a bad example. I show what dedication looks like." The atmosphere shifted. What began as a celebratory conversation now felt like an interrogation. Strahan pressed on, shuffling notes. "Let's talk about your earlier films. Some critics have raised concerns about stereotypes and problematic elements in your movies from the 80s and 90s. Do you think those films have aged poorly?" Jackie exhaled, measured. "Every film is a product of its time. Our goal was to entertain, to make people laugh, to excite. Some jokes may not align with today's standards, but the intention was never to hurt. Look at my entire body of work. I've tried to bridge cultures, to bring East and West together through cinema." Strahan interjected, "Intentions don't erase impact. Some viewers felt they were the butt of the joke. Doesn't that concern you?" "It does," Jackie replied calmly, though frustration began to surface. "I care about how people feel, but we must consider context. I've spent my career showing the beauty of Chinese culture, martial arts, and filmmaking. Have I been perfect? No. Have I made every choice right? Probably not. But my aim has always been to do good work and represent my culture with pride." Strahan nodded, but his expression remained unconvinced. "You've mentioned representing your culture. I want to segue into your political views, particularly regarding China and Hong Kong. Some say your statements align with authoritarian policies. How do you reconcile that with being a global icon? The studio held its breath. Jackie's jaw tightened, and for the first time, a flash of genuine anger appeared in his eyes. "Michael," he said, voice steady but intense, "I came here to talk about my work. About cinema, about entertaining people. I did not come here to be put on trial for my personal beliefs or lectured about politics. I am not lecturing you, asterisk." Strahan's voice stayed steady. "Jackie, I'm asking questions that a lot of people want answered. You are a public figure. Your words and actions have influence. It's fair to ask you to explain your positions, isn't it? There's a difference between explaining and being accused before I've even spoken." Jackie shot back, his accent thickening as his emotions rose. "You started this interview by questioning my work, my safety practices, my films, and now my personal beliefs. Every question has been designed to make me look bad. This is not an interview. This is an ambush." The studio fell silent. Tension crackled in the air. Strahan kept his composure, though his tone grew firmer. "Jackie, these are legitimate questions. If you can't handle being asked about your career and your public statements, maybe interviews aren't for you." The words hung in the air like a challenge. Jackie stared at him, expression unreadable, before slowly removing his microphone. "Maybe you're right, Michael. Maybe I shouldn't do interviews at least not ones where I'm treated with such disrespect." "Come on, Jackie. You're overreacting." "We're just having a conversation here," Strahan said, though a hint of strain had entered his voice. "No," Jackie said, standing and placing the microphone carefully on the chair. "A conversation is when two people talk with mutual respect. This has been you attacking me from the moment I sat down. I've done thousands of interviews in my life, Michael. I know the difference between a tough interview and a disrespectful one. This is disrespectful." Cameras continued rolling as Jackie turned toward the exit, his movements controlled despite the anger radiating from him. "Jackie, wait. Let's just talk this through." Strahan called, but Jackie didn't look back. The crew froze, unsure whether to cut or keep filming. The audience sat stunned, watching one of the world's biggest stars walk away live on television. As Jackie neared the stage edge, a producer hurried over, whispering urgently, trying to coax him back. Jackie shook his head, resolute. There was no turning back. Strahan rose, hand outstretched as if sheer will could pull him back. "Jackie, seriously? Let's continue. I think we just got off on the wrong foot here." Jackie paused but didn't turn. His profile to the cameras, he addressed Strahan without eye contact. "Wrong foot? Michael, you've been confrontational from your first question. You questioned my professionalism, my art, my integrity, my character. Which part of that was the right foot?" The producer nearby winced, caught between the star and the host, knowing millions were watching. She leaned in, voice low but urgent. "Mr. Chan, maybe we can take a quick break, reset, start fresh with different questions. I apologize if this line of questioning wasn't what you expected." Jackie's expression softened. Briefly, he saw her intent to salvage the moment. But he glanced back at Strahan, whose approach only strengthened his resolve. "You know what the problem is?" Jackie said, turning slightly. "It's not just the questions. It's the tone. The assumptions behind every one. I've worked too hard for too many years to be disrespected on live television." Strahan closed some distance, hands raised in a placating gesture. "Jackie, I hear you. But my job is to ask tough questions. If I only lob softballs, I'm not doing my job. People expect more from this show. There's a difference between tough and hostile," Jackie said finally, turning to face him. "You want a tough question? A real one. Here it is. Jackie, you've had an incredible career, but it hasn't been without challenges. What was your hardest moment, and how did you overcome it? That's tough. It requires honesty, vulnerability. Your questions. They weren't designed for honest answers. They were designed to create conflict, make me look bad, generate controversy for ratings. The accusation landed hard. Strahan, usually unshakable, faltered. That's not fair, Jackie. I've been doing this a long time. I know how to conduct an interview. If you felt attacked, it wasn't my intention. But these are questions people genuinely want answered. Then let them ask me themselves, on social media, on the street, wherever, Jackie said, voice rising. But when I come on your show, when I give you my time, when I sit in that chair, I expect basic respect. Nothing more, nothing less. I expect you to approach this conversation with at least some appreciation for who I am and what I've accomplished. Jackie said, his voice steady but cold. Instead, you treated me like a defendant in a courtroom. The audience was riveted. Phones were already lighting up social media with clips and commentary. This was no polished, managed celebrity interview. It was raw. Unscripted conflict playing out live. Robin Roberts and George Stephanopoulos appeared at the edge of the set, clearly alert, assessing whether to intervene. Strahan ran a hand over his head in frustration. Okay, look, he said, exhaling. Clearly we had a miscommunication about the direction of this interview. Jackie, you're right to deserve respect. If I came across as anything less, I apologize. Can we just sit down and start over? Different tone, different approach. We can talk about your new project, your legacy. Whatever you want. Jackie studied Strahan, searching for sincerity. The apology was there, but something in it felt performative. Like damage control rather than genuine remorse. How many times have you done this, Michael? Jackie asked, voice sharp. How many guests sat in that chair feeling like I do right now? I'm willing to bet I'm not the first. And if you don't change your approach, I won't be the last. That's not fair, Strahan said, voice lacking conviction. You're assuming all my interviews are like this. Most guests leave happy. Most probably wouldn't call me out. Jackie's gaze was icy. Most of them smile and endure it because they need the publicity or don't want to make waves. I don't have to. I've earned the right not to tolerate this. I have nothing to prove to you or anyone watching. Robin stepped forward, calm and diplomatic. Jackie, it's Robin. On behalf of everyone at Good Morning America, we have enormous respect for you and your career. We'd love for you to stay, maybe refocus the conversation. Our viewers would love to hear about your new film and upcoming projects. Jackie's expression softened slightly, acknowledging her intervention. I appreciate that, Robin. I really do. But the damage is done. I came here in good faith, ready for a positive conversation, and instead, I've been on the defensive from the first moment. That isn't something I can just brush aside. Strahan interjected, frustration rising. So what? You're just going to walk out? Leave millions of viewers hanging because you didn't like my questions? That seems unprofessional. The studio went silent. Even Robin looked taken aback. Jackie's eyes narrowed, voice ice cold. Unprofessional? You want to talk about professionalism? A professional journalist researches, understands their guest, and conducts an interview that serves both the audience and the person being interviewed. What you did was try to manufacture a viral moment at my expense. And now that it backfired, you call me unprofessional. No, Michael, that is unprofessional, ambushing a guest, disrespecting their work, and then gaslighting them when they call it out. The words landed like punches. Strahan's face flushed, but George Stephanopoulos moved closer, placing a hand on his shoulder. Michael, maybe we should take a break, Jackie, please. A few minutes. Let's figure this out. Jackie shook his head. I appreciate your intervention, George, but my mind is made up. I've been in this industry over 50 years. I've dealt with directors who yelled, producers who cheated, co-stars who disrespected me. I fought through all that to build a career I'm proud of. I will not let someone tear that down on live television for ratings or clicks. That's it." Strahan's voice dripped with sarcasm. The great Jackie Chan can't handle a few tough questions, so he walks away. What happened to the guy who broke every bone in his body for his art? Where's that toughness now? Jackie's hands clenched into fists. "Michael, don't confuse physical toughness with letting someone disrespect me. I've fallen from buildings, crashed through glass, been set on fire all for my craft, all out of love and respect for what I do. But what you're doing now has nothing to do with toughness. This is about dignity. I will not sacrifice my dignity to save your interview." A producer tried again, almost pleading. "Mr. Chan, our audience loves you. They came to see you. If you leave now, they'll be disappointed." Jackie turned to face the audience for the first time, taking in their confused, shocked, or supportive expressions. He drew a breath, addressing them directly. "I'm sorry you won't get to hear about my new film today," he said. "I'm sorry this interview couldn't be what we all hoped it would be," Jackie said, his voice calm but firm. "But sometimes you have to stand up for yourself, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's public. I've always tried to be real with my fans, and the real me cannot sit in that chair and pretend everything is okay when it's not." He looked at Michael Strahan one last time. "I wish you well, Michael. I hope someday you understand why this happened. But for now, I'm done here." With that, Jackie Chan rose and walked toward the exit with the same controlled grace he brought to his most intricate fight scenes. Every step was measured, deliberate proof that he was in complete control. Even as chaos swirled around him, Michael Strahan froze. Watching him go, then called out, his voice cutting through the stunned silence. "You know what, Jackie? Maybe you're right. Maybe I did come on too hard. But people expect accountability. You can't just coast on your legacy anymore without addressing the complicated parts of your story." Jackie's hand rested on the door handle, his back to the studio. "Accountability, Michael. I've been accountable my entire life, accountable to my audiences, my crews, every person who ever trusted me with their safety. There's a difference between accountability and humiliation. You wanted me to apologize for my entire career, to perform contrition for your cameras. That's not accountability, that's theater." "No, that's journalism," Strahan shot back, frustration boiling over. "When you're a public figure, you don't get to pick and choose what gets examined." Jackie finally turned, his expression no longer angry, but something closer to pity. "You think you're doing journalism, Michael? Journalism seeks truth, gives context, helps people understand complexity. What you did today was prosecution. You had already decided I was guilty before I even sat down. Every question confirmed your pre-existing narrative, not uncovered anything new." Robin Roberts stepped forward, trying to bridge the gap. "Jackie, Michael, can we take a breath here? We're all professionals. Maybe we can learn something and move forward constructively." Jackie's gaze softened as he looked at her. "Robin, I appreciate that. You're a good person. But some bridges are burned because they were built on faulty foundations. This interview was doomed from the start. Michael didn't invite me to celebrate my work. He invited me to be taken down a peg, to show that even Jackie Chan can look small." "That's not true," Strahan protested, defensiveness creeping in. "I invited you because you're a legend. People want to hear from you. The questions reflect what people genuinely want answered." "No, Michael," Jackie said quietly. "You are not the messenger. You chose the questions, the tone, the controversy. Those were your choices. I own my choice to walk away." George Stephanopoulos, watching silently until now, finally spoke. Jackie, Michael's point is that public figures are held to a different standard now. The questions may seem harsh, but they reflect real concerns. Can we find common ground and continue in a way that serves everyone? Jackie considered him, expression, thoughtful. George, I respect your experience, but here's what you're missing. I've adapted my entire life Chinese opera, Hong Kong action films, Hollywood blockbusters. I learned English. I learned cultures. I embrace change. I am not afraid of difficult questions. But I will not be treated without dignity. Respect is the baseline. Without it, there's no conversation worth having. Strahan's tone shifted, defensiveness giving way to something more genuine. Okay? You want the truth. I did come in with an agenda not to destroy you, but to challenge you. I thought you could rise to it, engage with complexity. Maybe I misjudged the approach, but my intention was never to tear you down. Jackie studied him, weighing his words. You think I cannot handle difficult conversations? Michael, I've had directors tell me my ideas wouldn't work. Studio execs claim Western audiences would reject an Asian lead. Critics dismiss me as a stuntman. I faced those conversations and won through my work. But your questions today, they were not meant to improve anything. They were meant to make me smaller. The standoff continued. Neither man would yield. The cameras never stopped filming. Viewers across the country were glued to their screens, witnessing something unprecedented on morning television. Robin tried one last time. Jackie, what if we start fresh? New questions, new approach. We could talk about your foundation, your preservation of martial arts, the positive impact on cinema. Would you consider that? Jackie shook his head slowly. Robin, thank you. But it would be hollow now. Everyone saw what just happened. Sitting back down for softballs would teach the wrong lesson. That disrespect can be smoothed over with a smile. I will not send that message. You're really doing this, Strahan said, the fight gone from his voice, replaced by resignation. I am, Jackie confirmed. And let me be clear, this is not about ego. It's not about criticism. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to participate in anything that diminishes you. Everyone watching should remember you have the right to walk away if you are treated without respect. You do not owe anyone your dignity.